There are many stories on how the digital twin actually makes somebody's job easier, from identifying the maintenance aspect of the operation, how you pick and how you operate every day, all the way through to actually that final outcome of AI, ML, and a twin working together to optimize the operation. If you're implementing a greenfield or a brownfield, you need to start some design work in order to implement the full warehouse. The forecasted load, the actual structural representation of the building and where you want to be. And then you start to apply layout analysis. You put in kind of sample racks, you put some automation, and you do some analysis of the model. So that's where the digital twin really comes in initially to implement that initial model and allow you to know what type of automation, how fast they're going to run, how much buffering you need, what the layout should be, what your pick path needs to be. And you start to look at the WMS and ERP to make sure that you emulate them correctly and the warehouse is going to run correctly once you start up and running in a few months.
When you go down stage 1 and you look at the automation selection, this is where Hosni and I work together. I can give him the type of equipment to put into the digital twin to try to make it easier and let them know of equipment that is available that can be analyzed to make sure that it works for the client.
Now, in stage two, you start acquiring the equipment. There will be some variations from what the digital twin initially identified as the key solutions and what you actually can get from the marketplace. So that at that point, you start to identify those changes. You plug them in into the twin and make sure that those variations actually play out. At the same time, you start to implement those systems, the conveyors and the scanners and so on, and the racks within the warehouse itself. And you start planning the WMS and ERP so that it will work with these systems. Again, everything is being tested within the twin because the twin is going to represent what the future of the operation is going to be once you go up and running. So in stage three, you basically start you start the warehouse, you basically now performing actual operation within the warehouse, but then everything that you've done has already been tested. So you already know that the warehouse picking method is correct, the way you're waving it is correct, the way you're receiving, staging, doing your putaways and replenishment, they're all been vetted out and organized based on what the digital twin actually allowed you to see. So from that point, you have a very low risk factor in the the potential issues that will come up within the startup phase. And then since the twin is already available, you have that AI and you have the machine learning built in. Now you can turn it on and start to do predictive optimization and predictive analytics going forward. So now it starts to look into the future and constantly helping you to analyze. Again, it all requires that synergy from the beginning, from the digital twin implementation, the automation, the WMS, ERP. So all these components need to start working together.
Because the AI software represent the warehouse part of the ERP system, it's really seamless integration between like an engine and transmission in the car that works together.